What is up, my Gaggle of Geeks, and welcome to tonight's episode where we're actually live. Oh my god! It's amazing. Maybe. We'll find out. I have got so many things to discuss with my co-host here. Chaz, how's it going, man?
I've had some computer issues the past half hour, but it's worked itself out.
Oh, man. We've both had our own, tech issues lately, especially this week. Is it because Mercury's in retrograde? Is that the... Because I know that fucks with your electronics a little bit. Like, people say don't buy electronics when that happens.
Is it in retrograde?
I think we've got like 3 different things that are happening right now, but I'm pretty sure Mercury is in retrograde right now.
And wasn't the full moon recently too?
I believe so. Yep.
Dude, it's been fucking.
So it does
whacked.
look like we're actually live. We're not. Yeah, that's good.
On your Patrick Beatty reviews page.
Yeah, will you share that? Because it doesn't look like it's letting. Oh, never mind. Let me change this. Boom, and oh shit, but boom.
Share now.
Sucks. It booted me out of the control panel, so I have no idea what's going on. Here, I'm gonna jump in, but it's probably gonna start talking.
Sucks. It.
Yeah. Shh. As long as I can watch that happening, I suppose. Yeah, that's gonna look shitty. Anyway, welcome to tonight's episode. We're gonna be talking about a bevy of things. We got the review for The King of Staten Island that just came out today. One that I've been looking forward to, honestly, since South by Southwest, because that was one of the films that I really wanted to go see. And now that we see it now, we're going to talk about all of it as well. We're going to talk about a couple news stories that came out. We already did most of our big stuff on Wednesday. But LA has set a little bit more stricter rules for TV and film opening back up. And we got theaters opening back up now. So there's a couple things to talk about. But, Chaz, I wanted to first tee this off to you because this is our 20th episode. We made it for 20 episodes. I think that's pretty awesome and worth celebrating.
Dude, that is pretty awesome. That's a huge pat on the back.
Ha! Pat on the Chaz. I don't know what that means. That means you're above and I'm below. We can do a fist bump. Boom! Yeah, opposite ends. I still didn't get it. Damn.
Dude,
but 20 episodes.
On my screen makes me look like punch myself in the balls.
Wait. Oh, it's just boom. All right. This is why people don't listen to the podcast. They have no idea what we're doing. We're just like this or like that. We were trying to punch each other from above and below. And yeah, it worked out. But 20 episodes. First episode was about the Oscars. And then from there, we just got weirder.
Yeah. But I think making it this far, I mean, we kind of found a structure and something that actually works, and keeping to it.
Gotcha.
Which I think is really cool.
Ooh, is the chat right here in Zoom?
Is there a chat in Zoom?
I don't know. You said I don't know. I have no idea.
Zoom group chat.
That doesn't belong. Oh, well. Well, with 20 episodes, it's only fitting that the first thing that we do is jump into a bit of news, which is revolving around, of course, the reopening of TV and film productions and where they're going from here. This is Los Angeles County on Thursday, who issued extensive regulations for a staged resumption of film and TV production. I remember it was Steven Soderbergh that was writing a full referendum or a big thing on how people can come back, because just like Hollywood, they'd rather not go to a doctor but go to the guy that made the Plague movie and be like, he should do it. But they've got the same thing going on. Any prolonged physical contact is some of the rules here, meaning fighting scenes, sex scenes are discouraged. Now, I've already heard rumors of certain ways that they're planning on doing this, and one freaks the hell out of me in more ways than I think. But the other way is just hilarious, in my opinion. First is you could just saran wrap the people, right? Saran wrap their bodies, and then when they make the contact, or have some type of CGI mask that they wear that they can just digitally remove. But the other option is, because I'm thinking specifically for sex scenes, this is going to be impossible to do, right?
Yeah.
but they have options to fully CGI it. Like, do you want two people that are in green morph suits, or in the mocap suits rubbing up on each other? And I don't know.
It's just weird. No, that's just weird.
It's weird, but that's what's happening. It could. I think it's close to, at least. Like,
Dude, that's
what
weird.
else? What other options do you have?
Just cutting away.
That's not the American cinema way, buddy. We don't
But
cut away from shit. We don't do any type of subtlety with our cinema. We want to see that shit.
Because like my thing with that is, like, if you're gonna CGI it, like, it's gonna look like General Tarkin's CGI from Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having sex, and it's gonna be like some weird hentai thing that people are gonna find a new attraction to. Yes, exactly.
This will be what this is the first sex scene that's gonna be filmed post-COVID.
I love
it. There's no better encapsulation of both shock and pleasure that I think comes from a Nick Cage scream like that.
No, I think if they don't do it that way,
get
that'll
some
be sad.
some CG bumping. If you don't think that's going to happen, and someone is going to want to try it so that they can say we can never do that again. You know what I mean?
Unless, I wonder if there's a way to cheat it. So, like, you know how in camera, or like in movies, how like sometimes they'll shoot like an 85 millimeter to make them appear closer, like over the shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they could get away with it like that, where they kind of cheat it within the camera to make it look like they're actually closer than they actually are.
Interesting. I think that's a good idea. We have 4 people watching, Chaz. What? Hey, Emily, how's it going? We could actually do this live and talk to people.
Madison's
That's
watching.
the one thing that I wanted
watching.
to do. Your sister's watching. Hi,
Sarah,
Chaz's sister.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to talk.
So dope. I'm just going to keep it up on the phone so I can at least see what people are putting in, and I can't really comment with you, but we can all talk together about some of the shit, even though there's kind of a delay. But what about fighting scenes? What do you think is going to happen with a fight sequence like the Raid style, where it's very close up? Sure, there's a lot of CG blood, but there's a lot of close combat. There's a lot of sweating. Is this going to be the same thing? Do you think CGI could be a lot easier because we've already done that with Thanos and with other characters?
Let's look at John Wick's motorcycle sequence, for example. How that was all green screen roomed.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible, but like also with fight sequences, I don't think they necessarily touch each other, you know.
So we
sound effects.
Yeah, and most of the time, as long as you can like not go over, what is the rule? Going over that line, that imaginary line. There's a word for it. We suck. All right, we're done. We got crickets. I'm so happy we can do sound effects live. We can do everything live. I'm talking to people.
Sarah's like, I didn't realize this was live.
Neither did we, Sarah, until now. It kind of is a little baffling that we've used Zoom for so long, and I've already paid for it like 2 months worth, and I didn't know this feature existed.
And here we are.
And it's only going to get improved on.
Yeah.
I think eventually once, because now it's going to be live on Facebook, because then I don't have the impulse to put up clips and stuff that could get us thrown off like the last episode. But YouTube doesn't really care so much about that. They understand the various a little bit more, or maybe their auto tagging system doesn't just take you down. It just puts up that thing that says like whatever studio is claiming your monetization with. Go ahead, buddy. I don't even have money.
Fucking accuser!
Not even. How can you take my monetization if I'm not even monetized?
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Dude, that's like the new drop the mic.
Yeah.
It's like fucking go after me. I dare you.
I'm so glad this works.
Oh fuck, dude.
But I think it's going to get better and better. And if you want to see the extra clips and stuff like that on YouTube, of course, you guys can go over there. But for now, this is going to be more what it's like. And I hope that you guys are okay with a little bit less, but a little more with being able to interact and talk on the show. But that's it for that story. I know you had news, and last time we tried this, I tried to pass it off to you. But what was the news that you have for today?
My news is Tenet, as it was speculated, might be pushed back.
I'm getting out of here. Goodbye.
I'm out.
It's only been pushed back by 2 weeks, so July 31st. And on the 17th, they're actually re-releasing Inception for the 10th anniversary.
So they're going to try to pair that together to get people into cinemas.
Dude, watch that be a great double feature.
Well, of course it could be. I was just thinking about Inception in the shower, actually, about like that last sequence where everybody's kind of waking up from like doing the big like thing. Because I was listening to some Batman Begins review where they were talking about Cillian Murphy and how he's just always kind of a bad guy and everything. And I was like, he's not necessarily a bad guy in an Inception. He's much more just like the prideful, arrogant son of a wealthy business tycoon that needs to change his perspective. And I love that sequence so much. But then I was thinking to myself, it's quite a risk to just hope that a dream changes his whole everything. And you don't really have that confirmation when you're out of it. You just know that you played a very convincing dream for him, you know? They made that really finite when it really wasn't at all. They were just like, you impressed him in believing that he was in a dream and not like being aggressively assaulted in the mind.
Well, have you rewatched it recently?
No, that's what I was thinking also, is that I wanted to revisit it. But I was thinking that specifically in relation to this.
Oh, dude, it still holds up too. Like the story still holds up, like the graphics still hold up, like everything about it still holds up. Because you know how, like, I mean, if you look at like Avatar 2009, you know how it's kind of not aged well, I would argue.
Yeah.
Because of the CGI. And like with Inception, like actually, I mean, for only being 10 years old, I mean, like it actually still holds up.
Well, that's because of Nolan's ability to really mix practical and special. I mean, that whole hallway sequence is still fucking brilliant, like every time. Sarah was asking if we're going to give our thoughts on the new Bill and Ted movie trailer. You know, it's funny. We actually gave our thoughts on the last episode, and we didn't get a lot of time to talk about it because nobody could nerd out with me on anything. But maybe you can, Sarah. You know who Station is? We're going to talk that. We're going to start with the most uncomfortable part of that whole thing. You know who Station is? Do you know him? He's pretty awesome. What's your favorite between Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey? You didn't see Bogus Journey, right, Chaz? Or you have?
Okay, here's the thing. I've seen both of them, but like it's so long ago that I just remember bits and parts of them. So like to me, they both merge in one movie. Does that make sense? Like that's how long it's been since I've.
Well, let's say spoilers, I guess, on this. I should have a sound effect to do that if we're doing this on Facebook. That way, everybody can know we're about to spoil shit.
Find one.
Excellent Adventure is getting all the historical figures to add in to the story, right? And it's for their big project that they're trying to do. The next one is kind of the revenge of that, where somebody from the future sends Bill and Ted from the future to go to them, stop them from making their music, kill them basically. And then it's their journey back from hell to reclaim everything, be the awesome people. And I forgot to close the window. Underpants.
And on the last episode, I know you and I, mostly you. Yeah, it was mostly you. You were speculating that it could play at the multiverse.
Because I was the only one that was freaking out about it. Everyone was like, oh my God. Is he okay? Oh no. Hi, Jessica. Yeah. Thanks for joining. What were you saying then?
I'm just saying you speculated to be the multiverse theory and how like.
Oh yeah, the multiverse.
The first one, and the second one kind of touched on like different aspects of it, and then this one's going to possibly, bring it into the whole.
Yep. The thing that I'm most interested in is how they're going to treat George Carlin's character in this, because George Carlin's character was a huge character in this. He was Rufus, He showed up and was the leader and everything. They're not going to have that guide in this, or maybe they will. How they're going to breach that is interesting, and who comes back to get them is very interesting too, because they didn't really show that. They just showed like they just are there. They're back, same situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really excited for the movie. To be honest, Aaron, I think it's going to be an underrated film, and it probably is going to be justifiably like maybe not like the biggest thing ever, but it's what we need. Damn it,
Dude, I hope to God they don't CGI anybody.
no. Well, Sarah thinks it's going to be like the Zoolander movie, Zoolander 2. Are you serious?
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
That's ridiculous. I don't believe that at all.
Accuser of the fucking accuser, you motherfucker!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's your sister. I shouldn't do this on the 20th episode. This is why we shouldn't be live, because now I've got the soundboard and anybody's a victim at this point. What is up, Andre? How's it going, man? What do you think of Bill and Ted? We were talking to you. I saw that you had posted a couple things about it. And also, great review on Just Mercy. We watched that a couple days ago. Go check that out.
Wait, so is the second Zoolander any good?
No, she was insulting. She was being insulting.
Oh my God, I've stepped over boundaries.
Sarah, get the hell out of here. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm excited for it. But those are the rules for the LA thing. We went on a tangent on that. That's another thing live streams are going to do. This might have just exploded. Yeah, LA and their rules. What do you guys think about it? Leave a comment down below. And let's get into the main beef of this episode and then do some Q&As or just talk about other shit.
Okay.
The King of Staten Island dropped last night at midnight or early this morning, however you like it.
10 p.m.
10 p.m. And we both got a chance to see it. You got a chance to see it twice because we got to make that money count when we are watching movies that are coming onto these, especially when they're like, this is a family film. Why won't you pay $30 for just you to watch it? But we both got a chance to see it. This is Pete Davidson and a Judd Apatow film, loosely based kind of around Pete Davidson's life and a little bit more satirical stuff, obviously. He's a washed up kid that is still living with his mom's house, not really completed anything in his life, and is just kind of, I guess, smoking his life away is what most people would consider with him. And through a few bits of circumstances, you just explore his life and what it's like living in Staten Island. And Chaz, I wanted to know your thoughts. What do you think about this movie?
I thought it was really heartfelt. There's like a lot of touching moments in it. And I'm not familiar with Pete Davidson. Like, I know he's from SNL and he's done a few bits here and there, but like I'm not very familiar with him. So watching him was kind of like a new thing for me. And I thought he was actually very talented. And it has my favorite comedian in it, Bill Burr. And so
more on him.
Yeah.
Dude,
and like
holy
him
shit.
pairing up with what I consider like one of my favorite directors, because I really like Judd Apatow movies. Like I really do. I just knew this was going to be like, I have to watch this, and like the trailers look really good, but I thought it was really, really well done. And I got teary-eyed a little bit at the end. Could be because I was yawning because it was like 12:30 at night, but
Okay. So you watched it late at night and then you watched it in the morning too.
during the day. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I waited till the morning for mine, and I kind of am glad I did because I would have definitely tried to jump in it again. But Judd Apatow, he's a film director that has done so many comedies that everybody knows, like Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Trainwreck, Superbad, Bridesmaids. He's been a part of all of those in one way or another. And the big thing about Apatow films that I've always kind of had a little bit issue with, and most people would consider as like his Achilles heel, is his movies sometimes feel a little too long, or their runtime doesn't really justify it for being a comedy when he's putting in a little more story than maybe necessarily there needs to be. This is the first film where I thought the exact opposite. I think when it comes to The King of Staten Island, there's so much to explore with Pete Davidson's character, with his relationships with his mom, with Bill Burr's character, who Marissa Tomei and Bill Burr are fucking fantastic in this.
Yep.
Like Marissa Tomei, I was thinking about this last I was watching. So you know how Marissa Tomei is hot, Aunt May in the Spider-Man universe. This is like the DC equivalent of what Aunt May would look like. You know what I mean? She's just like really pissed and like just wandering around with like a trash bag and like, where do I put this?
She's exhausted like the whole time.
Accuser of the fucking you motherfucking accuser.
Yeah.
But I think what I liked about it too is like Pete Davidson's like him and his sister. We didn't really see like a lot of interaction between them, but like when we did see it, like you could tell there's a lot of history in their relationship, And I think like the reason I like Apatow flicks is because he goes into like these mundane characters and these mundane situations, and he like offers so much depth with them to make them so relatable, And
Yeah.
I think that's why he goes longer than people would usually want for a comedy, but it's because I think it feels more like a real life comedy rather than like a in your face comedy,
Well, he sticks to the story first rule with him. But I always have this rule with me. When it comes to a comedy, hour and a half is the perfect runtime. That is the sweet money spot that if you can get it in that runtime, get in and get out like that, it works perfect. But I think maybe what I like more about The King of Staten Island, this is not so much a comedy as much as a dramedy. Like this is much more a drama film than a lot of his other movies. And the characters are hilarious, the situations are hilarious. But the story in itself is a really heartfelt story about fathers and sons and how that bond can transcend into a different relationship with somebody that's still a father figure, how loss affects somebody, especially somebody that's younger, a young kid losing a parent in this, in which in real life, Pete Davidson did lose his father, who I believe was a firefighter in 9/11.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. They don't really go into too much detail like that with this, but they certainly take from his real life experiences, which what I think is what makes this film better than other films that we've seen.
Yeah, and like I also like how they kind of highlighted his mental health, because he even admits in the film that he has like these impulses, and he's really kind of alluding that he's bipolar. And
ADHD was the big thing.
ADHD was another big thing, and like I love how like they didn't focus on his like make that like a huge dive into like why he's like that. Like they let his actions speak for themselves, and like we get to know him throughout the whole movie.
And that introduction to Pete Davidson's character is so perfect when you think about it. That quick, he's going to do something because he wants to do it, but see the reactions that it and the implications it has on everyone around him. It's such an easy, quick thing that they do there. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but Pete Davidson is fantastic in this. I think this is a really good performance from him. He's going to be in the Suicide Squad with James Gunn, and I'm starting to hope that maybe he's got more of a role than I was originally thinking. Maybe he's not dead immediately in this.
Yeah, well, I agree though. That intro, that big opening scene was really impactful. I know that was 20 minutes into the film originally, in the original cut, and he was struggling trying to figure out how to make it work. Judd Apatow was, and I guess it was Leslie Mann, his wife, who kept telling him to put that scene as the opening scene, and like it would fix everything.
Interesting.
I wonder what the opening sequence was before that then, but I guess it doesn't matter. But.
Yeah. Sarah says she'd low-key ask him for a tattoo. Sarah, I would watch the don't say that. I would go and watch the movie and then come back and tell us if you actually do think that he would give you a good tattoo or not. I'm genuinely curious at this point.
There's a lot of cool cameos too, like Machine Gun Kelly. He's the tattoo artist.
Okay, a cool cameo is that I'm not sure if you can consider Machine Gun Kelly a cool cameo.
I thought it was a neat little cameo. I don't, and that's the thing. Like Judd Apatow, like gets all these huge cameos to appear in his movies.
That was his one line.
Catch me outside. How about that?
That's pretty much what his one line was in the whole thing. There was him, and then also the part that I was really excited about, and I'm sure you already know this because you're a film fan like me. Steve Buscemi was a firefighter in real life, and he is in this film as the captain of the fire team that Pete Davidson gets involved with. Bill Burr is a firefighter that is a part of the squad, and you get to see a lot of inner workings with them and all of those firefighters' chemistry, and those are really good moments too. Every part of this, it like I said, is very strong, and I can't really see a need to cut out anything. With much other films with Judd Apatow, I was like, you could probably lose a good 20 minutes and be okay.
I'll disagree, but yeah.
You don't think the 40-Year-Old Virgin goes a little too long?
I don't know.
Just a little bit. Bridesmaids also is just little bit too long.
Well, that one wasn't him. That was Paul Feig.
But he helped produce it.
Yeah, he did help produce it. But yeah,
Producers get a lot of pull and stuff, buddy. There's a reason.
He does.
There's some
But
weird
this one,
stuff.
I think tonally, this one reminds me a lot of the one that came out in 2009, Funny People, with Adam Sandler.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's a very human film in the sense, where it's dealing with like, it's not as like I wouldn't say King of Staten Island is like over the top funny, like it like you said, it's a dramedy. Like there's more drama in it than a comedy, but like when you do laugh, you laugh. Like there are a lot of funny one-liners and quibs that come very naturally, so it's not forced. And that's the thing with the Funny People, is it kind of explores the life of a comedian, who's kind of down and under, which is Adam Sandler.
Yeah. No,
So,
I can agree with you.
raw.
And it's also a shitty thing, I mean, as an editor, to kind of be like, you could just lose it. Because a lot of times it's like, there's this one piece in there, though. And if that one piece is taken out, the whole thing falls. So I would need to look closer at stuff. But I do stand by my argument that an hour and a half is perfect. It's perfect runtime. I don't have anything that's like perfect. All these sound effects are just like dick sound effects. What did you think of Marissa Tomei and Bill Burr's chemistry?
I loved it. So here's the thing with Bill Burr is so Breaking Bad. You've seen Breaking Bad, yes?
Of course I have.
Yeah, he plays a side character on there, like in the later seasons. I think that's when he actually got more into acting too, was during that little time.
Mm.
But like, and then he does voice work for F is for Family, which I guess he's a story runner on that, or showrunner for Netflix. But other than that, like, it's really hard to see him acting seriously, because like the only other movie that I know him from is the one with Sandra Bullock, and was it called Heat?
Yeah, Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. And he plays
that
one of
movie
the brothers
was
yelling in their car.
A little too much.
Yeah, but
that was a little much.
So seeing him in this movie, and like I don't know if you listen to his podcast or listen to his stand-up at all, but like he's very, very Bostonian in the sense that he gets angry and just rants and like all this stuff. So like seeing that side of him on TV, like it worked because it fit his character, but then also his character has so much heart behind him, and it was really cool to see Bill Burr kind of go into those depths,
Yeah. No, totally. I think Bill Burr and Pete Davidson also worked together very well.
Oh my God,
their
yes.
back and forth was hilarious. All their fighting, whenever they just were attacking each other in certain scenes, it was just, comedy gold.
There's one scene, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like he kisses Bill Burr's forehead.
It's very tough to consider that a spoiler given the context, because even if you hear that, you have no idea why or even in what situation.
But the way he does it is
I remember that bit. That was one of the parts where I was like, okay. You know what it reminded me of a little bit? In Ford v Ferrari, when Christian Bale and Matt Damon are fighting, and he takes the can and he's about to hit him, but he just takes the sandwich bag instead. It's like, this is the most non-violent way to be violent to you I can possibly do right now.
It's like pushing the boundaries, but like not going all the way over,
Mm-hmm. No, totally. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm trying to think of anything else.
You know who else I really liked, though? I actually liked Pete Davidson's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a girlfriend, and then he has real-life friends that are actually from Staten Island that were in this. What the friend that punches out the fly, which I won't say anything about. That guy's a real person. That guy is like a Jay Muse to Pete Davidson's Silent Bob Kevin Smith dynamic. And it worked. I like the friends. Yeah. You could see the chemistry there.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to see a Disney character be part of the friend group.
Yeah.
Because he's from, I think he's from Hannah, Montana.
Is he really? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Is it Mosaius Arias? I don't know how you say his name.
Oh, shit. He's that kid.
Yes.
Oh, what is his name? Fuck. Well, I'm mad. We're done. I'm gonna find it. His name's is Moises something, right?
Moises Arias or Arias. I don't know how you pronounce it.
But what is his name in the mother? Rico. Yeah.
And his character was funny too. Like
his character was good. I love the turn on him. It was perfect for someone that watches 90 Day Fiance and is always thinking that shit with all of the characters. Like you're watching something and you're like, yep, that shit's going on. Yeah, that's totally happening. But even on our show, we had a twist where we're like, oh shit. Okay, well, good for him. Good for him. I love that so much. That was great.
Yeah, and like, because I love like how like these characters are so. I don't want to say low life, and like they're just like not the best friend group, you know. Like their relationships is what makes them friends, really. But like to hang around them was like you're kind of like you have to be kind of at a low point in your life to be hanging out with them. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But
no, I see
like,
that.
They weren't despicable though at all, and like they all had their own moments. And I love how Rico was like the conscious of the group. He's like, oh, you guys shouldn't really do that.
He was
you know,
a conscience that was very quiet.
Yes,
he was the quiet little mouse that was like, hey, maybe let's come over here.
Kings of Movie, check it out. He's weird as hell in it.
Kings of Summer.
That's on Amazon
Jay
Prime,
Moore.
if I'm not mistaken.
Go and check out Jay's show, by the way, that came out yesterday, I believe. Let's talk about it. It's on YouTube.
Was not Tuesday? I thought it came out Tuesday.
I can't remember. All the days blur together lately. I think it was the day that we recorded it. We recorded the last episode. That would be a couple days ago.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yep.
Well, he asks, what's your favorite movie?
How do you not know this? Because I don't even know this. We're going to save that. Do we have anything else that we're going to do for that you want to talk about for this? I think we've covered everything. Do you want to give our rating?
I gave it 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5. That's good. Anything? What knocked it a little?
What knocked it a little? I thought there was like some weird cuts in it because it looks like they did like there's some parts, especially after going through it the second time, that you could tell they maybe cut something out, you know, where it didn't transition as well, but like very minor, like really minor. But like, I mean, overall though, dude, like, I mean, I related to this in some sense of, just like a lot of like the family dynamics, you know, like it felt very close in some ways, and I'm like I really loved it. So it's nice to have a Judd Apatow flick in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, it was really nice. I enjoyed this, and there's also some content that you can get to in a sec. We'll talk about that, but I think my rating is pretty much the same. I would probably go 9 out of 10. I think when it comes to these movies, I mean, there's always like a little thing you can nitpick and stuff. And like the 9 out of 10 is always just because you're not going to say, this is the Citizen Kane of all this, you know? I think, yeah, definitely check it out, especially if you're quarantined and you've got nothing to do. And maybe you've been smoking pot for a while and you're like, oh no, that didn't do that for me. Some movies, when they're like, he's a pothead, they make it sound like it's really bad. And like, he's got to change his ways. None of that shit happens in this. I like that.
So would you say, because since you can only rent it for $20, do you think it's worth the $20 for a one-time watch or for a whole family or what?
I think this is worth the way that you did it, to be honest. Have a nighttime watch with you or your loved one, whoever you're with. Have a nice dinner or something. And then in the morning, if you want a good laugh or you want to do something else, you know. How long? It's up 48 hours, right? You got it for a 48 hour?
After you start it, yep.
So you got 48 hours. I mean, that's theoretically a couple views. And if it's you and somebody else and you've gone to a theater a couple times to see it, that pays for it right there. Yep. $20 is definitely better than 30.
I agree. But there are some weird things with this movie. Universal put it out there, produced it. I guess the night of the release last night, a lot of drive-in theaters got told they weren't going to show it. Got told to pull it, and that was going to be released exclusively on VOD. And if I'm not mistaken, Trolls is also correct. Oh my god.
Conspiracy. That's the conspiracy. I just freaked out people.
But like, so is Universal behind Trolls as well?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I read an article about that today that there's some fishy stuff there because some executives in Universal are like, oh, it's always planned to be released on exclusively on demand, but then other people are like,
or was it? Wonder if that'll demonetize us. I like it a lot because most of all of this shit is conjecture anyway. We just make up shit as we go. We make up shit as the news sites make up shit, and we spout that shit out for you to digest in tinier bites and share around ever. It's like phone tag, you know? And we've done 20 of them. Wahoo! So that's our review of The King of Staten Island. Please go and check it out. I think it's great. And hey, if you guys want to have any of the people that were a part of that on the show, go ahead and tweet at them to come onto the Gaggle of Geeks show. That's something that I've not sent our army via, Jay, out to go and tweet people.
Jay asks, how do you guys feel about Beyonce playing Storm in Black Panther 2?
Well, hold on. Is that confirmed that she's playing Storm? Because I've heard that she's in talks for a role, but I didn't know if it was Storm or not. Theoretically, yeah, that would be about it. Work on 3 films, including Black Panther 2. Now, that kind of says more. Thank you for bringing this up, Jay. We've got news. Beyonce reportedly in talks with Disney to work on 3 films, including Black Panther 2. Okay. 3's not a lot for Storm, but 3 could be enough to have an Avengers film and a Black Panther spinoff and maybe the conclusion to a Black Panther trilogy. But I don't know. Part of me just wanted Lupita to kind of have her character evolve into Storm.
Yeah, I don't know why do we have to bring Storm into this when X-Men has been disowned?
Well, there's a big reason why you need to bring Storm into it, and you don't know do you know the comics background between the two?
No, does she come into Black Panther's universe then eventually?
Not only does she come into the universe, he comes in her because they're together.
That's what she said.
That's right. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, dude.
Amazing. That worked perfectly. They're married. They're on again and off again. A big reason why the Civil War II comic happened, and they had a ceasefire, basically, all of the people did, was because they all wanted to go to their wedding and watch Black Panther Storm get married. So they are a huge part in the comics. And with Civil War II being Captain Marvel taking the reins of the Iron Man character, there's a possibility that all of this can still happen. But what do you think of her being Storm specifically? And then what do you think about her involvement in the Marvel Universe? This is a big get. This is probably one of the biggest names that I've seen them pull if they do get Beyonce. Like, Beyonce probably is the biggest name you could get.
How do you feel about it, though?
I just asked you.
Oh, I thought you were asking like a rhetorical.
Listen to me!
I'm just kidding.
You know how I am. I'm just like, we'll see it. But like, I don't really care. Like, at this point, I'm still tired of Marvel. So that's just my opinion, though.
You're no fun.
I know.
Jay, you should be on the show. No, you're going to be on the Here's what happened. We had a couple guests that were ready to come on for the episode. I don't really like bringing up when that doesn't end up happening, because I've learned my lesson. Boba Fett. But with this, yeah, we had a couple people planned, and we definitely will have you on the show. With that being said, I don't know about Beyonce being Storm, if I'm being honest, because they've gone both ways with Storm so far, where they've given her a big actress with Halle Berry, and they've gone completely unknown, and both kind of have been wishy-washy for fans. And I don't know if like the latter Storm is really to blame, because she didn't really get a ton.
Who's the unknown?
Let's see. Well, there you go. Asking that right there tells you. They were part of a couple. They were part of Apocalypse. They were part of Dark Phoenix. Shoot.
I didn't know
we don't
that,
have a screen up showing me like live horribly typing stuff to try to find something. Let's figure. Let's see. It was Alexandra Shipp.
No idea who that is.
Well, then this was for nothing. What was the point of any of that? No, No. She was in Shaft. She was in Jexy, all the right places. But yeah, her big stuff was Epic X-Men Apocalypse and Dork Phoenix. So I don't know about Beyonce being Storm. I would like to see her in this because like you've got a lot of royalty in Wakanda, you know? It would make sense that a Beyonce type would be there.
Dude, Beyonce's queen. You know what they say.
Do you think they're setting her up to be the love interest for Black Panther, or is that very sexist to just assume, oh, they cast a woman in, so you're just going to think that that's the one that Black Panther's going to be? Okay. If it's Storm, that's precedence, but...
I don't know, because like in the Black Panther, he didn't really have an interest at all. It was pretty straightforward, you know? And so like, I think throwing that in there out of nowhere just felt very forced.
Well, he was interested in Lupita, and I don't know. Here's what my thinking
Was
is
he,
to
though?
why Here's why... Yeah, of course he was. He stalled. The big thing was that he stalled. He never freezes. But he totally froze up when he saw her. He was like, hi.
That's right. See, I don't watch his movies
Question
enough to
about
know
Black
that.
Question about Black Panther knowledge. No, but I think if she were to come into this, I was always thinking, because of what they're doing with Jane and bringing her in to be Thor, that there's an opportunity with Lupita's character to evolve into something more powerful. And to me, I think that the logical idea for possibly all the X-Men characters is to go with the snap is what changed them. Tons of Infinity War cosmic energy gave a percentage of the world that came back special abilities as well. Would make total sense to me. And I hope that's a part of a direction that they go. If they're trying to integrate the X-Men universe into it. If not, then I'd rather it be a separate universe that they can go and visit and it not have any connection. But let's evolve Lupita's character, who's already kind of somebody that's more of she's out and vocal about conservation. She's freeing slaves. She's doing all kinds of shit already. Give her the power of the natural elements, and holy shit, that could be really cool. And Lupita's incredible as an actress. I think she would kill being Storm. Do you agree, Chaz? Where'd you go?
I agree.
We've seen Little Monsters on. Ooh.
Well, here's the thing too. The last thing I saw with Beyonce in it was The Lion King, where she voiced Nala. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. And I feel like this should be bigger news, but it doesn't feel like big news. I'll leave it at that. How's that?
Okay, so you don't think the Beyonce news is big, but you're fine with leading with the Tenet news that they moved a few days.
Dude, that's on my watch list.
You know, Black Panther 2 is probably on a few people's watch list as well.
No, for sure. And I actually really enjoyed the first Black Panther. Like, I saw that, I think, three times in the theater. But that soundtrack's pretty killer, too.
It is. What would you... I was thinking between that and Into the Spider-Verse, which was the better one. Because they both have real good bangers. I would go Into the Spider-Verse, though, if it were me.
Are we talking about the soundtrack specifically?
Just the original soundtrack, not the score. Because score-wise, I actually might go with Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Because the Killmonger score is pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, in Black Panther, like they it was like a hybrid of like cinematic score mixed with like a lot of other elements, you know, which I thought was really cool. Like it felt very fresh and unique to the movie. But soundtrack-wise, definitely Spider-Verse.
Cool.
But you know what? Though Black Panther has a lot of... I don't know.
Whoa.
That should be the poll. That should be the poll.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker!
I don't know. Speaking of score, there's some score news.
What's that?
It's related to the Justice League. Now, Junkie XL was the one that was going to be doing the score for Justice League. And a lot of people were kind of assuming that it was going to be like the Batman v Superman score. Just a lot of bom, 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 bom. Well, with this, they're planning on going a different direction based on what this story is saying, that the score is more of a mix of Mad Max Fury Road and Deadpool, and that it had already had been intended to be a lot lighter than Batman v Superman, and it's supposed to be a lot more fun than anything. But fun in like the way like the fight sequences in Mad Max were, which I would love to see that. That sounds great.
For Justice League, though?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Joss Whedon's is is very not what Zack Snyder's is going to be.
That's the sense I'm getting, because I'm like, they're going in a whole different tonal direction, but like I can't get.
Doesn't that make you more excited though? That like
It makes me more
that
curious.
it's not like they're just going to give you the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman. They're going to give you an entirely different film.
But this just proves that there was no such thing as a Snyder cut until toxic fandom became extremely toxic.
I don't think it does, because from what I understand,
Because if there was a Snyder
he
cut,
had
all
reels.
this would have been done.
Hold on, you're not even defining a cut. First of all, what is your definition of a cut? Because you're saying there was no finished version. I don't think
There's
anybody
no
was saying
assembly cut, dude.
I think there was an assembly cut.
You think there was?
Post no effects. There were
effects.
a few assembly cuts. I believe there were a few. There was a tweet posted out that showed a few big reels of Justice League cuts, and the only way that he could have shown these execs what he had was to show them the assembly cut.
No,
so
right.
The assembly cut existed. I know what your argument is, that there wasn't finished visual effects, but I think nobody's fighting that argument anymore.
It's not even the visual effects. It's because let's say that before he had to leave the studio due to his family, right? Let's say that he only had an assembly cut done. That's not like, you never release assembly cut. Like, every filmmaker knows you don't.
But nobody was asking. Everyone was asking to release the cut and assumed that it wasn't going to be finished. There were some like crazies that were like, "No, it's done. All the effects are finished. They spent so much money on it, and it's right here in our faces." But most people were like, "Of course, he didn't get all the visuals done. They redid a ton of stuff."
Right, but like, I also though like. I don't know, because then they have to go back and reshoot, which is fine, because like with an assembly cut,
you don't know that though. We don't know if it's ADR. We don't know if it's only special effects shots.
He's CGI.
He's using stunt doubles with people. He's very good with visual effects. A lot of it could just be faked out.
I know. I'm like, I'm laying it out on the table right now. I don't hate Zack Snyder. Just laying it out there. I don't hate Zack Snyder at all. I actually think he's one of the few directors that you should just let him do what he wants with this story. I wish he got better scripts to work with. You know, because like, I mean, one of my favorite movies that he's done is actually Dawn of the Dead, which was his first feature. But if you look at who penned the script, it was James Gunn, who was a very tight storyteller, you know?
Oh God, what a combo. That could be interesting.
Yeah. So that's my issue, is that like, I don't know. I don't have an issue.
So that's your issue with people saying that there wasn't a completed cut. I'm just trying to steer it with the main point, because it's just, I don't know. It's not that I'm annoyed with the constant, like, because everyone's tweeting that, and then everybody's tweeting something else,
right,
in response, and it's always the same thing. And I think we've just passed that point. I
don't know. I think if you have an assembly cut, that's fine. With an assembly cut, you know what you need to re-add or reshoot or whatever. You know, like it's a rough edit is what it really is, and I understand that, but like, maybe he was going in a whole different direction with it, but like, how much of Justice League is actually, like, the one we saw was actually Joss Whedon? You know, like how much of the footage was
on the show? We were talking about the fact that he had already done, I think, only a quarter of the film that Joss Whedon put out is Zack Snyder's.
Okay,
if only a quarter is. And by the way, we've lost like 3 people so far because of this. That's another great thing you can see, is like, people go, "Oh shit, they're doing this again." All right.
I'm getting out of here. Goodbye.
I will say that I think I'm curious to see what Snyder does with it, and maybe it's a whole different thing, you know. And like, then I will put my foot in my mouth for sure. But as far as, but I guess my biggest concern is like, this is people already saying release the Ayer cut, you know. But like, he's the one who chose to have Joker with the tattoos. That doesn't change that nothing will fix that. I'm sorry. No matter how many story elements you try to put behind the reasons he has it, it's going to be fucking stupid.
I think that's also, we all agree on that, but you also have to look at each individual situation. I think Zack Snyder deserves it over Ayer? I believe so, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Ayer deserves a cut based on the studio wronging him. I think he deserves a cut based on his cut just not being there in HBO Max, not knowing what to do right now. But if they have it and it's right there and he's done, and it's already done with the visuals and stuff, and they were test screening it to audiences. There's
Right.
no more money you need to pump into this.
Right.
It can just go. That's an option. And I've already heard the stuff about Jeff Johns interfering with both of these.
Right.
But what the studio did with Zack Snyder is so bad when you consider the fact that a horrible tragedy happened. And not only do they take advantage of that opportunity to say that's why he was leaving, when that wasn't the case, he was still working on it. He was working in post-production. That was what he was working on.
Yeah.
But that Jeff Johns decided to go in, take out big parts of Cyborg's character arc, work with Joss Whedon, who had already been in there to kind of be a test study group with a lot of other directors to look at this film and see what they could do to improve on it. Just deciding that they can cut away a lot of it, add in this different story element that's a little more basic, and tee up Darkseid instead, which we have no idea what actually was there. There's so much worse situations that happened with Justice League where I'm okay with it. And I think they should do it, if anything, just because they need it right now.
I guess my biggest concern of all this is, like, if a fan base sees a movie, they don't fucking like it, are they going to push and harass studios and filmmakers to release the original cut because they're not fond of it?
Well, let's see. Let me ask you this. What is the problem of a creator saying, I have this product, I have this cut, it's a cut that I like, and people saying we like to see that cut? What is the difference between this situation than Ridley Scott putting out his versions of Blade Runner than any other time that anyone has ever put out any director's cut of anything? The studio does agree with it. A lot of times it does come from people loving the thing. I don't think the studio really understood what they had, which was the big problem. The studio didn't know what was coming for them, and they didn't know the fans were as vocal as they were. And so the fans took that opportunity. There were some shitholes that also took the opportunity to attack critics. And there were critics that took the opportunity to say that fans are stupid. It came both sides. But at the same time, there's at least an outcome from it. Like, something happened. And I don't think it's because of force of hand. I think it was from noticing. Like, if somebody's saying, hey, I want this, and like, you can't be like, oh, they forced that on me. It's just them saying, oh, well, do you want to do it? Will it work?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So like, Zack Snyder's going to do director's cuts, though, so that's nothing new with him. Every single of his movies has a director's cut, right? That I can think of. I don't know if 300 does, but that's not surprising. But like, director's cuts are a thing, and like, I think definitely, like, those are fun, and like, people should vouch for those for sure. But when you have it years later, it's like Justice League came out in 2017, and just now we're saying, oh yeah, we're going to release his Snyder's cut, which is going to be totally different. That's how you know that, like,
something bad happened, and
something
now
bad did
rights
happen.
being
Yeah,
wronged.
right.
It has nothing to do with, like,
but
this,
no, but
this,
the fandom.
this critic
because, like,
just said, I'm going to blow up your house.
But no, because
know?
Like, let's look. So I'm going to bring in another fandom here. Okay, that's very toxic. Star Wars, right?
Why are we ending like this?
Oh my God! Hold on. Because, like, with The Last Jedi, people were saying release the J.J. Abrams cut because Rian Johnson.
I can't believe you've done this.
Rian Johnson apparently retconned The Force Awakens, which I totally disagree with. I don't know why people think that. They just weren't happy with the way Luke was portrayed, right? So then they were vouching for release the JJ cut. Then Rise of Skywalker came out, which was a JJ cut, but then you could tell there's like a lot of Rush studio involvement in there. Are we going to say we'll release the actual cut? You know, like, are we actually going to bully filmmakers and studios, or are we going to be able to appreciate these big franchise stuff? Especially, that's the thing, is that these are huge franchises with lots of money, right? That, like, I feel like with that much money, the director should be able to do what he wants always. And so the cut that is released in theaters should be the director's cut, but that's not the case. Hence, BVS Ultimate Cut, right?
Yeah.
Watchmen director's cut.
So if you see that incorrectness and an ability to course correct and possibly generate more revenue, and you've got a streaming platform that needs content.
Well, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying I don't want that to be a thing going forward with fans being so toxic that they're releasing, demanding an actual cut they like because they felt cheated. Even though that takes away from the art. You know, that's catering to them and catering to fans.
They know that we don't even do our own cuts. Maybe this isn't even a cut. Maybe we've changed the entire show and you have no idea. Okay, I'm done.
I'm just saying, like, with that much money, you have to be careful, and like maybe stuff was cut. I mean, like with Batman versus Superman, we could agree the ultimate cut was superior to an extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't add much to it overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, if it elevated a whole lot, that's a whole different thing. But it's like such a step like this. Like, here's Batman versus Superman, and here's the ultimate cut.
Okay.
Barely a difference.
That's just your opinion, man button that I need to hit. Because that's going to have to be the next one. That's going to have to be the next one for it. I'm not even going to ask what you guys think.
Jay thinks I'm onto something. What's up?
I know, Jay.
No, but I know I was ranting and like mumbling and stuff and like just going on.
You didn't even
and
put on the rant music for it. What are we doing?
Yes, here's my rant. I just hope fans alike don't fucking harass filmmakers to release a cut when they're not happy with it. That's all. Especially because, like, I mean, I don't think a lot of the fans don't realize how much goes in filmmaking, right? I mean, like, you and I were talking about the assembly cut. Half fans don't know what assembly cut is, probably. They don't know that's bare bone footage without video effects, you know? And, like, the only assembly cut that's been released, dude, is Alien 3. That's the only assembly cut I've ever, like, wanted to watch.
But there's still an... Did you just say Alien 3?
Which had a lot of drama with it, too, because that was directed by David Fincher. Right? And David Fincher disowns Alien because of studio involvement.
Well, people say they want that cut. Are you going to call them horrible people to stop saying I want a cut?
Well, the assembly cut's
I think
awful.
it's fine for someone that doesn't know the ins and you're gatekeeping, my friend. You're gatekeeping movies and you're gatekeeping enjoyment of things, and I'm against that. But I love you. That's the difference.
Well, I love Jay. That's
do that
the
on this show. Wow. And now he's just you know what? Jay has gone from fan to troll really quickly. Really quickly. This is what happens.
No. But I to answer your question, I am looking forward to see what they do with Justice League. How's that?
It's too late. We were talking about Beyonce. I don't even know what the fuck happened on this episode. We really trailed off.
Oh, because you were talking about Junkie. And you're like, it's fun.
Junkie and the score.
Like,
yeah, I had a totally innocent story about the goddamn score. And then you're like, really?
It. I'm
what
sorry.
About the snare cut? What about the fact
I know, dude. I hijacked it. I'm sorry.
I think all your opinions are valid. I think I just was too exhausted to argue them anymore. I think I wasn't prepared, so it's just like,
kid, there is a little bit more news if you want me to mention it. The duelist Star Wars and Ryan Johnson. This is from a source called We Got This Covered, who sucks so much ass.
We're not doing the We Got This Covered. No.
Dude,
way, Jose.
They think
that is not a news site. If we're gonna say anything from those sons of bitches, here's what it's gonna be. Hey, we got this covered. You're not news. What you post isn't news. But Chaz has something that he'd like to say about your stupid site. So go ahead, Chaz. What do you like to say?
Yeah, you guys are fucking full of shit. Because that site hates Ryan Johnson. Like, the thing they did with that, we're like, oh, Ray's granddaughter is going to be the new Sith. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, Ryan Johnson's the helm of this. Fuck him. We did The Last Jedi. Yeah, there's just more toxic fandom right there for you for Star Wars. That's what brought that up. But yes, don't believe anything you say. You read from We Got This Covered. Like, literally, I see friends post that shit on my timeline, like just random stories from them. I'm like, either they stole it and they don't give the right sources, or they're making it up just for the clicks.
Oh my god, I think I've heard some of your fans like some of your friends like that, don't they? It's kind of just like, hey, do you see this new article came out? They're talking about Beyonce being stoned in the show. You see that article, Chaz? I guess it's not working. You gotta dive with me on it.
Jay says, I feel the Snyder Cut is by far the biggest news we could hear.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
Maybe I shouldn't be a news source.
Oh man, 20 episodes, man.
Fuck
And
yeah,
20
dude.
more. We're almost halfway through the year. We've almost done half a year worth of content. I believe it's 28 that we'd have to get to hit half a year's worth, 6 months worth.
That's not bad though.
That's really good, especially for starting a podcast during a pandemic and figuring it out from there. But I'm really happy that we were able to do this on Facebook Live also. Thank you everybody for joining. This was a lot more interaction than usual on that. I'm worried that maybe I'll make it horrible for the podcast by like stopping talking and talking about this stuff, but you guys let us know in the podcast as well. Rate and review that. Tell us if it works well, just audio, or if you think we should stick to just pre-recorded from there. And this is, of course, going up on YouTube. Check out on the website, patrickbeattyreviews.com. Check out our merch, all of those things. Chaz, I am so happy that we were able to do this. And your Over and Under Artist Exposed episode with me is out today. And what else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
I'm just writing stuff. Just find me on Twitter and Instagram. That's it. I yeah. Also like the Over and Under page on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There's video.
He's saying it so modestly.
We have video of me and Patrick. I think it's great.
Yes. Video of us.
Secret.
We don't have good music for that. You gotta find good music. No?
Yes, Patrick.
Well, that's not Irish music. This is named Irish music. Oh, it was about to go into it. Damn it. Ah, I missed it. All right, we're putting it back on. It was about to go into it, though. This will be our ending. Everybody, thank you again so much for watching. We're glad that you came with us on this journey. And we'd like to thank you for all the things you've been doing. We'll see you at the next review.
Change, you filthy animal.